So we actually gone through like filters, hierarchies, groups, and set. So we started with filters like quick filter, data source filter, filters on dimensions, measures, and date, and importantly, global filter. Like quick filter, like use it for user interactivity. Like if I wants to apply a filter, right? I mean, if you wants to provide the users to select or unselect some part of data, that's a quick filter. And data source filter is nothing but whenever you are going to connect, right? So to any data source, if you wants to restrict some part of data, you can make use of data source filter. Even we have written a custom SQL query using where clause and restricted some part of data, correct? And filters on dimensions, measures, it's similar to quick filter, but it's in detail, right? So we have seen uh, like contains, starts with wildcard match, correct? Contains a particular customer name, Adam, or starts with some John, something like that. And we also applied condition like sales greater than 100K, or we used top 10 or bottom 10, correct? And filters on measures, it's quite simple. Like straight away, we can use a range of values where you can select minimum and maximum value, or we can go with a at least or at most. You can prefer selecting only minimum or only maximum value. And we have seen filters on date. Date filter is a bit important, as you've seen, like there is an option to go for range of dates and relate to date. So in relate to date, we have a flexibility to select current month or current year or last 3 years. So we have seen that option, right? So you have that flexibility to go with a range of dates and relate to date option. And like importantly, we have created a dashboard and we applied the global filter across the dashboard level, correct? So if you want to apply a filter across all the sheets, that's the best practice in the dashboard level. So global filter, if you want to apply the same filter across all the sheets, this will help in general. And cascading is like it shows only relevant values, where the advantage is to not to showcase the unwanted data within the filters as well. Like let's say if you select Q1, it shows only the months related to Q1. If you select Q2, it has to display Q2 related months. And as I said, context filter is not a regular one, but it's a bit important interview question where context filter in general is like it shows in gray color and it displays top in the filter shelf. And we have seen the differentiation, right? The independent filter, like if you select some categories when you apply top 10 or top 3 or something like that, individually this will behave a different if you select only one filter as a context. That's what we have seen. And as I said, it creates a for each context filter, it creates a temporary table. So hierarchies, like it's like a parent and child relationship. So one of the advantages, like you can drill down to the next level, any level. Like if you want to create a hierarchy, you can create on top of dimensions. And this is pretty simple to create. You can just drag and drop, or you can right click to create a hierarchy, right? So you just right click and hierarchy, you can add or create a new hierarchy. And in the last class, we have gone through groups and set. Groups are static, just grouping of some part of data. Like for an example, we have region information. We just grouped. We just selected. If I wants to showcase central and south in one record, you can just simply create a group. If you want to create another group, you just right click on a group and east and west, something like that. Okay, so that you can display a combination or something like that. You can group the existing elements into one single element. Okay. So similarly, we have seen other examples like we don't have a month or we don't have seasons dimension, but we created a dimension based on existing or not existing. We created a month first, month field, month number by using the month function. And on top of that, we created a group like seasons. You just right click and go back to edit group and you see we just added, for an example, if it is fall, we added first 1, 2, and December months. If it is spring, we added few months. So manually, this is like static, right? So group is static. And we can create groups on top of dimensions and measures, but I didn't showcase on measures because it's not recommended. But I'll come back to that concept when we discuss bins. So we can create a calculated field on top of groups that is there, and we can also use hierarchies using groups. So I created a customer, this one, I created a customer hierarchy using customer group, and this is a group and customer name dimension. And set is a filter condition. So if you create any set, like for an example, you just right click on region, create a set. So it's a filter condition. Apart from wildcard option, you can see general condition and top, and you can select or unselect some part of data. So whatever the selected data, it shows in values. And clearly you see not all the subcategories are displaying, it's just a selected information. So if you right click and show set, so these are all the values are unselected papers, phones. So if you want to select or unselect some part of data, this will automatically reflect here. Okay. So now you come back. So these are available in the filters, right? We didn't select it. Initially, it's not there, right? Initially, these elements were not displayed. But when you unselect these records, so you see till machines, I think it's selected. You see only till here the elements are displayed, not all the elements in the subcategory, correct? So that way we can restrict in the filter to not to display unwanted data. So one advantage is like we can write a calculated field, but we can also write a condition, right? So you can go with a condition because we have seen general condition and top. So we can create a conditional set where you can write a condition and you can apply a filter condition, right? And importantly, for set, the very important concept I can say is generally in interviews they'll ask like top 5 and bottom 5 sales in one single sheet. So with filters, it's not possible, but we can create a top 5 set and we can create a bottom 5 set. So you can create a set using top 5 and you can create another set using bottom 5, and you can combine those two sets, right? You can combine those two sets to get top 5 and bottom 5 into one single sheet. Clear?
Yeah.
So now I'm going to showcase actions, which is one of the interesting and important concept. So we have different types of actions, but what exactly action? Action is like, it's also like a filter, or we can also pass a value. I'll showcase that. It's not like a single functionality, but different kind of a selection where it reflects the data, or kind of a filter, or this is more for user interactivity. You can interact with the dashboards to apply filters. So I'll showcase that. But you can create, or you can create actions at worksheet level actions, and dashboard level actions. Okay. And so if you let me create a sample example sheet so that you'll understand what exactly action. We know quick filter, we know filters in general. We can, if you wants to restrict the data, we can apply a filter, right? Similarly, so instead of applying the filter, if you wants to do some selection or something like that, we can also use actions. This is more interactive. Okay, let me use only category wise sales. Let me create a pie chart. And let me create another reports of category wise sales. And let me apply category into color. Okay, so now I have two sheets, right? Like I have a category sheet and I have subcategory. Okay. So now let me create a dashboard, or before going to dashboard, as I said, right, we can also create actions on worksheet level. But most of the cases, so the best practice is, I mean, any any level is fine, but mostly we will use actions in dashboard level. Okay, but I will come back to that. So my intention is when you click on technology, I want to display technology related information, or let me use category here as well. Okay, just to differentiate, organize these records. Okay. So when you click on technology in sheet category sheet, it has to navigate to subcategory sheet to display subcategories based on that specific category. Okay. So now let's go to worksheet. you see actions option here, worksheet action, and you to go to dashboard and you see actions, right? So now we are in the worksheet. So click on actions. Now there are a lot of options here. At least you remember, like we'll go through everything. So click on filter. So just remember this. So you see like my screen is not showing up in the bottom. You see cancel and okay. I'll use a tab option to select that, okay, but that's fine. I'm unable to, probably I need to change the computer resolution to make it visible, but that's okay. You understand it? So at least if you create and in the bottom you see cancel and okay. So I need to click OK to create. So I'll do that. But you can run action. So you can create an action using these options. I mean, this is a filter action, but these are the options which are important, like run action on and clearing the selection. Okay. So, and these place major roles. What is the source? What is the target sheet? So we'll go through each and every point here.
Okay.
So now we have filter actions. This is what I'm going to explain. And we have highlight action and go to URL action. And there is a go to sheet, but generally we have a set actions and also parameter actions. I'll showcase that. So let's come back to here. So now what is my source? I want to select from category. That's the source sheet. And my, I was doing action here, right? So let me go back to category sheet. Okay. So I have to create action on top of this sheet, right? This message, but let's see actions, add an action, filter action. So my source is category sheet, and my target is subcategory. Okay. So you have to select something, you're going to select something in category sheet, and my target has to display in the subcategory sheet. So I can run using multiple options like over, select, and menu. But the best recommended is like select. Let's use select. Let it be for now. Keep filtered values. Okay, I'll come back to this. So I'm using tab. See, it comes here. The next thing is cancel. The next thing is click OK. So I'm just guessing. So you see action is created, right? So this is the action. So importantly, you select this. We are in the worksheet level, right? You don't have any dashboard name, right? So if there is a dashboard, you will see dashboard. Okay, I'll showcase that. So directly we can select the sheets, and I'm selecting. You need to click to perform action. Okay, so just close this. Click OK. So now whenever I'm going to click on technology, it has to navigate to seats. It came to sheet subcategory, and you can able to see technology information in the subcategory level dashboard. Correct?
Yeah.
Perfect. So it's not manually we moved to here. So what we done is like when you click on furniture, it's automatically navigating to this sheet. So now when you click on office supplies, it goes to the subcategory sheet, and it displays all the subcategories here related to office supplies. So, but if you do the same thing in the dashboard level, this will be more interactive for the users, right? So for an example, this is dashboard, and you see available sheets in the left side, and there are some objects here. I'll come back. But to create a dashboard, so you just drag and drop another sheet here. Automatically it will resize, but you can manually, you can change that as well, the alignment and everything. So you see, like when I clicked on, we already passed, right? So when you click on something, it's already passing the action here, right? So now what I will do is, so I'll remove action from worksheet level, then we'll create a dashboard level action. Okay. So now you go back, it's showing up everything. So now go to dashboard. Now let's create action, add an action, see filter, select filter. Now you can able to see dashboard one, correct? Clearly. So now we create a dashboard. Now we are able to see dashboard level source and target. So within the dashboard, what is your source sheet, right? So my source sheet is category, and my target sheet is subcategory. And you click on select and keep filtered values. So create an action here. Perfect. So now when you click on furniture, this will give you furniture data. When I unselect, it's not working. I'm not sure why it's. So when I unselect, it has to display. Oh, I think I use keep filter values. Probably that's how I think so. Clear all values. I think I made a mistake. So keep filter value. That's the mistake I have done. So show all values in general. I'm thinking the first option is to display. When you unselect, it has to display everything. So I thought of the first option is same. So my mistake. So now show all values. That means whenever you click something, this will display the selected information. But if you click again on top of the same thing, it will come back to the original position. So that means you clear the selection, right? So display all the values. So that way, you see, so click on office supplies and it displays everything here. So even you can use, you select two, this will give you two category information. So multi-selection is also possible. But there are options. I mean, I have to create, if he wants to apply, but at least you understand, right, how to create actions. But let me create another sheet. So for an example, I have country. So I have country information. Let me drag and drop country into color, country into label, and I'll create another report, sheet level, state level data, which is double click here. So it's not showing up at state level default. So what I will do is like you go back to here. You have an option called as edit locations. It's pointing to India fixed, and let me select from field. Click OK. Now drop state into color and state into labels to display the state names. Okay, so if you want, you can do another chart sheet with the cities, but that's okay. Let me create another dashboard. So it's coming up here. Okay, so there is an option called as size. You can use automatic full screen, or you can make use of other options like fixed size. Okay, so now I can drop country and I can drop another sheet with states. So even you can add another multiple worksheets into dashboard, multiple n number of worksheets into dashboard. So let me create what are all the, let's say I'll create a bar graph for cities and sales information, and let me sort it out. Drop sales into label, and let me drag and drop sales into color. So what I'll do is I'll add, this is country, this is state, and I will also add cities here. Okay, or let's add this side. Okay, so now you see we have three sheets here. So one is country, one is state level data, and one is city level data. Correct. So now what I'm going to do is, this is a bit important. So you understand, if you want, you can use title. You see, go to dashboard and show title. You can add a title here and go to dashboard, actions. So now my requirement is to create, see, there is a already filter action, which we created for the previous report. That's the reason I want to create another sheets to modify or showcase a different example. So now go to filter. Most of the cases we will use filter actions. That's the reason I'm showing up every option. So now my requirement is like sheet 3 is like if you want to name, better naming convention to understand, I will do that. This is country, and this is state level data, and this is city. Okay, so now, so you go back to dashboard, actions. Now add an action filter. So my requirement is like from country, if I choose country, okay, I have to see all this. Okay, let's see, let it be, I can target both. Okay, I want to see the states related to that country and also cities related to that country. Okay, I'm targeting both the sheets. So show all values if I clear the selection. Clearing the means if you unselect, it has to display all the values. Okay, I'm using select, or let me use hover, just a mouse over, it will work. The first action I'm using hover, and then the second one I will use select. Okay.
Okay.
So what I have done is, so whenever I'm going to, let me go to presentation mode. Whenever I'm going to place the simple cursor, mouse cursor, see, it has to filter. I didn't even not selected. Okay, I didn't even clicked, right? Just to place the cursor, and it has to filter out that specific information across state and cities sheets. Okay, when you mouse over on United States, it has to display the US information in the bottom, and here also the same, US cities. Okay, so the thing is, like, if you mouse over, it's just a hover, and if you remove, it's not select, right? That's a challenge actually. So it's not select. So let me showcase. You understand that hover we don't use most of the cases. Mostly 90% we generally don't use hover because you cannot select and you cannot go back. You have to, the only option is keep the filtered values. Okay, if you want to check the whatever the selected information, for if you are using hover, you have to showcase keep filter values to navigate to, I mean, to check the information. But let's go with the proper combination here. So I'll use this for now, country and city to state. I'll create another action from state to city. Okay, so you may have lot many states, or you may have lot many cities. In that case, I want to filter out, right? So now my target is only, so from state to city. Okay, understand, right? From state to city, so we can also perform another action. So show all values, click OK. Now go back to presentation mode. Now we just hovering the mouse, it's not working because we used select action, right? Now let's see. Now click on Canada. If I remove, even I can come back here and I can check what exactly the cities or the state information, right? So that's the advantage. Select. Now click on United States. Now you have a lot many cities. You scroll down. So that's what, if you use hover, you cannot, I mean, you have to use the other option. Okay. Keep filtered values. Otherwise, it's not possible to come back here. Okay. So now what's the advantage here is, like, you select, we selected United States, right? Now you come back here and let's say, let me select Texas. So if you click on Texas, this will give you all the states, all the cities related to Texas. Perfect. This first time, this is San Antonio, Dallas, right? So now when you click on Florida, this will give you Florida information. And when you click on California, you have a lot many cities. So you can see the California cities information. And yeah, based on the selection, right, you see the cities information here. So that's the advantage. So we came from here country to state, or even when you click on country, automatically it's showing up. Let's say if you click on Canada, automatically this will display Canada. And if I click on particular state, this will give you only that state related cities information here. Now you can see Toronto, right? So based on the selection, this will give you the information. Now what happened is, like, we are losing everything. So if you click on Canada, so now you select something, this is working fine. But if you unselect, again, it's showing up all the cities, right? So we have to, few cases you have to use selected keep filtered values. That way we can showcase or we can display limited data. But you understand, right? So the advantage here is interactivity. So where you can select or unselect, or you can interact with the dashboards. Clear? Any questions?
No.
Yeah. This is one very good options with the actions. So we have other menu option. I'll come back to the next example. I mean, when you click, right, instead of hover or select, you have even menu also the same. You need to click select. But I'll showcase that example for URL actions. So just check on the action options. Like if you see, if I'm going to use let me showcase one good example, exclude values. So if I use exclude values, okay, so I said this is to be excluded when you select or when you unselect. Now let me select a particular state. Okay, let's say Texas and unselect. You see nothing is displayed here. Okay, so now when you click on here country, it's showing up. But when you click on Texas, it shows up Texas. Or when you click on Florida, this will give you Florida. When you click on California, this will give you California. But when you unselect, nothing is showing up. You can also hide. That flexibility is also there. You can exclude something like a pop-up, right? When you click on something, this will give you some information here. So that flexibility we have here with exclude values. Clear?
Yeah.
Actions. So there is another type of action which is simple, highlight action, but importantly we have URL action. So highlight action is like instead of applying the filter, just highlighting those. So for an example, if I just like even you can apply color. If you apply color, that's also kind of a highlight action. So when I drag and drop into color, if you click on something, it is highlighting, right? So when you
Okay.
select office supplies, it's highlighting only, or if you want to see what exactly highlighting, you see it's highlighting office supplies. If you click on furniture, this is highlighting furniture. If you click on technology, it's highlighting the same. So even I didn't apply any action, but it's the same functionality. So let me do that. So I have a category wise, this is subcategory data. And I have another sheet, category wise sales. And let me create a different visualization sheet. Okay. So now I will add here this one and category level data, automatic size. So now you see whenever when you select furniture, okay, so I think the best option is to apply proper color. Let me drag and drop category into color. It's not, so we are using sales into color. Let's drop category into color. That way you'll understand. So now you see like when you click on, also we got both colors, like interesting. So now when you click on furniture, you see it's highlighted both, correct?
Mhm.
So when you click on office supplies, it's highlighting office supplies here and here also the same. So we don't want to apply any actions, but if you click on technology, that's the action. Instead of color, right? If you click on technology, I have to highlight here. So in that case, you can go back to dashboard, click on actions, add an action. You see the second option, highlight action. Okay. So sheet 7 is our category target source one, and sheet 6 is our target. Simple option, you see select or hover, right? So just click OK. Click OK. So now when you click on technology, you see action is performing, right?
Mhm.
It's highlighting technology. When you click on furniture, this will give you furniture data. And when you click on office supplies, this will give you office supplies information. Okay.
Mhm.
It's not filter, right? It's not a filter action where it's not filtering out. Like for an example, if you go to dashboard, when you click furniture, it's showing only furniture data. It's not showing everything.
Mhm.
But if you go to dashboard 3, if you click on furniture, it's just highlighting. It's not filtering out,
Mhm.
right? But if you have so many records, right, like cities information, you have lot many cities, right? This will, you need to scroll down, right? So I mean, if you highlight, that information is different, but at least like if you want to filter out, the criteria is different, correct? So instead of going for the highlight, you can straight away apply filter to display
Mhm.
those records. Clear on?
Yeah.
A very important concept, an interesting concept I can say within the actions is URL action. I'll tell you what is the advantage of URL action. What I'll do is I'll I'll use a different data source. Once done this with the URL actions, I'll stop. Okay, so probably it will take 15-20 minutes max. So
Okay.
then we'll continue. So now go to let me add a different data. Have a country information, only country names. I paste in the data source country name Excel. Okay. Oh, sorry. So I got sheet one here. So you see, like these are country codes, and there is a country name field. Okay, so there might be some multiple countries with which is not properly aligned or with the country names. So there is some additional fields as well, but that's okay. So what I'm going to do is I'll create a map view. So 50 countries unknown. That's what, like some additional names. So you can hide, you can just remove that. So now drag and drop country name into color. So this is what the overall world map. If you want to display the names, you can drag and drop country name into label, or better you drop country name code into label. So not country name. So that way you can differentiate just a country code into labels. So short names. Okay. So now it depends. Like instead of that confusion, so let's use country name for now. And my intention is, so for an example, I'll showcase a quick example here. So if you see, let's say Wikipedia, let's say I have country information, right? Let's say USA. You see United States, right? If you click on United States, this will give you Wikipedia US information. But instead of United States, even I can text USA. So some of the websites will have a flexibility to redirect, and it clearly showing the text US in the URL. But we typed in USA, but it shows redirected from USA, correct? So it's for other USSC, America, US, USA, the United States of America, right? So now, if I, in place of US, if I type in Canada, this will give you Canada information. So what I have done is I didn't change any complete URL, right? Just in place of country name, I just replaced with Canada, correct? Understand, right?
Mm.
So now let me copy this URL with HTTPS. So go to Tableau. Now go to dash. This is the worksheet level, right? So now you can, let me use dashboard level action. Okay, I'll tell you what exactly. Drop here. So go to dashboard actions. Now go to this one URL, as I said, right? Go to URL. In general, initially it was a URL action. So there is the name. Let's say I can type it Wikipedia per country. There is an option you see, insert drop down. Whatever the fields we are using, it comes here. So you can dynamically pass the selected information here. Okay, country name. Similarly, you see URL, enter URL, right? So just copy paste here. Now, if I use only Canada, this is static, right? Every time it will navigate to Canada. But instead of Canada, if I use country name, right? I have to use country name to get this dynamic. Okay, so this URL is what important. Okay, so now click OK. Click OK. So what we have done is, whenever you're going to select this, oh sorry. Now I just want to mention the option. I am using menu. Okay, I just want to showcase that I'm using menu. Okay, so when you click, it will clearly show what exactly we have selected. So that's the advantage. Initially, we have used hover and select, but when you click here, what is happening here? You see, we're getting title, right? Wikipedia for country, and what country we selected. This one, hyperlink, right? You see a hyperlink. So when you click, you have to click again, come back here and click again on this. This will navigate to the United States web page. Understand, right? So now when you click on Brazil, this will navigate to Brazil. See, if you have any information in the web pages, you can also try. So for an example, that's the reason if you want to display the country names, you can display the country names and go to presentation mode. So let's say I'm going to click on India. This will give you Wikipedia India. Perfect. So now one interesting thing here about URL action is, see, every time when you select something, let's say if you click on South Africa, so it will goes to South Africa here, right? And I mean, it is navigating to the web page, right? I mean, again, you have to come back to the dashboard. Instead of doing that, there is an option called as web page here. Where is that? Let me scroll down. Yeah, web page. You just place the web page here. No need to do anything. Just a blank. Click OK. Don't pass any value. Okay. Now we already created an action. Now let's see. So now if you click on United States, so it won't navigate to the web page again. So straight away it's showing up within the dashboard. Got it? Understand, right? So, and you can access this information within the Tableau dashboard. That is the advantage here. Clear?
Mhm.
And it's quick, so it's not like taking longer time. But if you have a huge data, it will take some rendering time to get the data. So it depends on the server and all other information.